right now. The first thing I want to share with you is, if you notice, I have Focus 2023, and first thing is goal. You have to know what it is that you want to accomplish, because if you don't know what you want, how would you know when you get there? And $100,000 a month, I believe, is possible because I've seen others accomplish that goal, and I've also witnessed their lifestyles. And I said to myself, I want that. I want exactly what it is that they have in regards to their lifestyle, being able to have the freedom to take multiple vacations a year, being able to drive any car and live in any neighborhood, and pretty much have time at the same time, and yet still consistently make a certain amount of consistent income. And I knew that these individuals, where they started from, and then I looked at where they're at today, and then I said to myself, well, what exactly did you do to get there? And by reading the book, The First Year in Network Marketing, I referenced this gentleman because he has earned anywhere from $30 million in network marketing over the years. And he's got some really good tips that I believe that's going to help me this year, and I'm going to share with you as well. So I've got my phone in my hand, and the reason being is because in my notes I have the information that I want to share with you. The first thing that the gentleman in the book talks about is the company that you're working with. Number one is the company. Basically, it's important that your company, the product or the service that you are promoting, or service that you're promoting, it has to match your core values. It has to match your core values. And the reason that is because if it doesn't match your core values, the likelihood is that you'll go all in and continue on that route to work in that organization will probably be slim to none, because you just don't believe what it is that you're doing. Have you ever gotten involved with something half-heartedly, not really fully committed, or believing in the actual product? You know, I've tried different skin creams, wellness companies, and I didn't believe in what I was selling. And to be honest with you, it was very difficult to offer this particular product or service to my loved ones because I didn't want to hurt them and because I wasn't completely sold out. So the first thing, again, is you have to match your company and your service with your core values. So the question is, what do you value in your particular life? And that within itself will give you a base to begin the process of the believability so that you can actually go out and sell the actual product. The next thing that he discusses in the book, The First Year in Network Marketing, is how big is the market sector, and can you reach a huge amount of people? So how big is the market sector that you are involved with? Is it a sector that's small and it doesn't have a lot of individuals in it? Is it a very niche sector where you don't necessarily can be exposed to a vast amount of people? I'd rather sell something that everybody needs or wants versus something that's good but yet has a very small sector within it. The skincare industry is a huge sector. Financial services is a huge sector. And there's other services out there that has a huge sector. So you've got to ask yourself, you know, is the sector that I'm actually getting involved with as far as your product and service, does it have a huge or a big enough market, okay? And then the third thing, ladies and gentlemen, is he indicates that you must have the capacity to work at least 2 hours a day and become a professional networker or a professional relationship relationship builder. You've got to work at least 2 hours a day and become a professional relationship builder, okay? And what does that look like? Well, the reality of it is that in network marketing, we are paid to do only two things. And those two things that we are paid to do is, one, we're paid to recruit, and the other is we are paid to retail our product or our service. Those are the only two things that we are paid to do. We're paid to recruit, and we're paid to retail. Anything outside of that, ladies and gentlemen, is probably a waste of time, and you're not working within your business. So if we're willing to commit at least 2 hours a day doing nothing but those two things, you can get to the goal that you're actually seeking based on the information that I have learned. And what does that look like, 2 hours a day? Well, 2 hours a day means that you have to be willing to prospect for opportunities or products and services, either or. You have to look for prospects who want your opportunity or your product or services. And that's it for 2 hours a day. And based on the law of numbers, if you decide, number 4, if you decide to get to $100,000 monthly, you have to be willing to commit to contacting for 1 year, to make it in 1 year at least 30 people per day. If you want to take it longer, for 2 years, you have to do at least 20 people a day. And if you want to get to $100,000 monthly in 3 years, you have to commit to contacting at least 10 people per day, selling either your opportunity or your product or service. So you have to commit to at least 600 people per month. And by doing that, the law of numbers, you'll be able to increase your team and also your product sales. And when I heard that, it really made a lot of sense. The first thing I thought to myself, I could do that. I could work 2 hours a day, talk to 30 people a day. I've had telemarketing jobs in the past where I stayed on the phone for 6 hours actually working on the phone. I got paid for 8, but I was only on the phone for around 6, or maybe even less than that. But my goal was to do 100 dials that day. And as 100 dials, I may have only gotten a reach of maybe a good 20, 30 people if I was lucky. So it's something that can be done. It's just that it's going to take some time in order to do it. You're going to have to be willing to commit to making those calls, being in front of people, talking to them about your product or your service. And if you're willing to do that, well, you will get the rewards for those efforts. But it's not going to be something that's going to be just given to you. It's not easy, and the individuals that are earning $100,000 monthly, they had to work very hard in order to do that. So if you're committed to doing the work, then you're committed to earning and getting the reward for the work that you put in. And number 5, ladies and gentlemen, in the tips to earning $100,000 a month was you must recognize the landmines. Recognize the landmines. And there's 10 landmines that you must recognize. And let me go over those 10 landmines that Mark Yarnell shared with us in the book, The First Year in Network Marketing. 10 landmines, okay? So let's go ahead and let's talk about those 10 landmines as I share with you what they are in this presentation. But before we do that, let me walk you through the 5 things that you must understand when it comes to creating a $100,000 a month income within your network marketing organization. The first thing is your company and your product has to match your core values. The second is you have to decide how big your market sector is that you are actually selling in regards to your product or service. 3, you have to be willing to commit at least 2 hours of professional relationship building. That doesn't mean you giving people all of the details of your business, but only giving them enough information to pique their curiosity so that they'll be willing to maybe watch a video or visit you at your office or learn more about what it is that you're offering to solve whatever problem that your product or service solves. Number 4, in order to get to the $100,000 monthly income, you have to be willing in 1 year to talk to 30 people a day, 200 people, 20 people a day if you're looking to do it in 2 years, and in 3 years, 10 people a day on a consistent basis. In other words, you need to talk to at least 600 people per month to build your team. And number 5 is you have to recognize the landmines that will come as you're building your business. Write those down and let's talk about what those particular landmines are. Now, when we're talking about the landmines, when it comes to building your business, the first landmine that you have to recognize is this.